All right, I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm CEO D, and this is Dirty Sweater Wearing AJ. We're hitting you with Season 5, Episode 1, Interesting and Unusual Deaths, Part 5. Your favorite show's back in business with our signature season premiere. So fucking cancel this shit. We're through. This is the last episode of the season.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
Wonderful opening for this this season. I'm already laughing because we were just talking about a hopefully coming soon recurring segment. We're not going to tell you anything about it, but I'm laughing my ass
You'll find it next week. And I managed to fuck up the first one of the season. We're not doing any re-recordings anymore.
Just not on this one.
Yeah, not on this one. Yeah, welcome back.
Oh my God.
It's been a fucking month and a half.
Oh, it's been a busy month and a half. Holy shit.
Hot minute, and we are back to ruin your Monday mornings.
Yeah, and when this airs, I will be back in school. God, it was a nice 2-week break.
Busting your balls.
Fuck. It's gonna be busy.
Oh man, we're back, but we have huge, fucking groundbreaking news.
Oh yes,
from Africa.
I didn't know this is where you're gonna go. This is legit.
Joke. This isn't a joke. So
also this season, more talking over each other. Get used to that.
Yeah, fucking strap in and strap on.
Did you say strap in or strap on?
Both. So, last week, AJ and I were kind of coming up with, what are we going to do for Season 5? Season 5 is big, man.
Spitballing ideas.
Yeah.
We're elevating our content.
We're up there, man. We're
doing all right.
We've made it further than NBC's Heroes. No, I have no idea.
We've almost made it as long as Survivor.
Yeah, and eventually, someday, we'll be as successful as Lost, but with worse writing.
Somehow.
So last week we were talking, we were looking at some of our numbers and where we were sitting, especially over the month where we had fucking nothing.
It gives us a good idea of where is our more core, fan base? Where are you guys from?
Exactly. And I mean, Norway, flourishing
always
as usual. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
But we had one country pop up out of nowhere, and it surprised both of us.
Was awesome.
Because usually the statistics will say number 85 in growth or in unique listens, and it's kind of a
85
twisted,
I wish more like 8,000.
Yeah, some of them are really twisted, strange stats. However, this one, we were number 7 at the end of December, number 7 in history. In
history
Uganda.
podcasts.
In history podcasts in Uganda, which
awesome.
Top 10 historic podcasts in a fucking country.
Yeah, I think the best before that we've had was Thank You Again Norway was Norway.
Yeah, I think we hit top 100.
Yeah, we were in top 100. I think we were in 87 or 67 or something. And that itself was holy shit, that's amazing.
So, number 7 in Uganda. We're thrilled. And we're sitting there on Discord, chatting back and forth. AJ's wife was sitting in the call. And I'm just fucking cruising through everything, trying to find out how it popped up, what happened, and how many people are now apparently listening to us in Africa. Fucking okay.
Yeah, I was using a different website to try to track down numbers.
Yeah,
and
we were just going all in.
Trying
and
hacking.
Finally I find it and I go, AJ, I found the number. And he goes, okay, what is it? And through tears, I tell him we got one listen in Uganda.
So thanks to whoever had their VPN set to Uganda.
If we had gotten 2, we could have been number 1.
We would have been number 1.
We were tied for second place.
So everybody pause this episode, clear your cache, set your VPN to Uganda, and listen there, because I want us to be number 1. But I was expecting 6, 7, maybe 10.
I was expecting a good 15.
Yeah, a good chunk.
And I just it was right above other, which is when people don't have a location.
Yeah.
And it's just 1. And AJ and I just burst into fucking laughter. Because it was the best thing. Like, it was
the best.
It was perfect timing for the week. So
yeah.
We're fucking
We are
back.
famous Ugandan podcast stars.
Fucking top tier.
I love it because like it really brings into perspective that being in the U.S., podcasts are everywhere. Everybody talks about podcasts, and then even to a lesser extent, podcasts are pretty new in so many places around the world. Like Australia doesn't have a huge podcasting scene, but they create a lot of podcasts. Like the majority of podcast listeners are in the U.S. and I guess Canada. We get a couple from Canada.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But, like, the markets are expanding. Like, Europe is starting to pick up. Yeah. We're trying to get on their, like, the European version of Spotify, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, I don't actually know if it is, but, like...
I also really need to check up on that.
Yeah, to see if we actually got accepted.
Yeah.
Because, we're trying to expand because it is so cool talking to you guys across the planet, like...
Oh, dude,
I look forward
crazy.
to it.
Like
every time we get a message.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys reaching out and supporting and everything. It's been awesome. So
it has been
your number 7 Uganda
history
episode.
podcast.
Yeah, we're top tier, top 10.
Hopefully, this episode brings us to number 1.
Man, here's hoping.
Best thing you can ever do is, as you go to sleep, set your VPN to a different location. And turn off your phone.
And just play this.
But play an episode.
Yeah, but play...
So we get weird stats.
Just set it to autoplay and play the first episode.
Perfect. Just
play
go
through
through.
A little cache.
Yeah.
A good, 200 hours. I don't even know how many would come out to. Quite a bit.
Quite a few.
Oh,
We've got
man.
a surprising amount of content.
So,
we're back. It's the first episode, so we have to do,
What have we been up to?
So we have to do, interesting and unusual deaths.
It's Interesting and Unusual Deaths premiere time, baby.
Part 5.
5.
That's a lot of parts.
If you haven't heard the first 4, go back and check them out.
They're actually pretty good.
The first one is surprisingly one of our better faring episodes.
And it, forgive the audio quality, but if you listen to each of the interesting and unusual deaths, you hear the upgrades every time.
Until this one, when I fucked up the intro.
Yeah, until this one. Now we're regressing.
We're fucking back. Do you want to start us off?
Do we have anything else we were going to talk about?
Not that I know of.
We went metal detecting.
Yeah.
In a public park.
Yeah. We found 2 old pennies.
A beer can.
One of which was only 17 years old. The other was 40.
Yeah, that was pretty good. An old one of those pop tab beer cans where you have to. They're not called pop tab. They don't have a tab. The one where you have to use the church key to pop them open.
Yeah. And then just a lot of
trash,
garbage.
Yeah.
So super
it's
unsuccessful, but we made profit.
Technically correct.
2 cents.
Ooh, my tinnitus is going right now.
That's good.
It's going in my left ear.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I'll start off with the first one.
Yeah, start us off.
So, Milo of Croton. Yeah, I know.
You already fucked that up.
And pressure points fashion. In quick anecdote, croutons as a snack are fucking the best thing in the world.
No.
Yeah.
Why would I want to eat a dried up old piece of bread?
Because they're fantastic.
No, they're not.
They're like crackers.
I'm not stuck
bread.
in an enclosed Russian city.
I'll tell you this.
Tarkov.
I have never. Well, I shouldn't say I've never. I have received croutons as a birthday gift 5 times in my life.
You disgust me.
I fucking love croutons. I don't fucking care who knows. I know. The best part of a salad, the carbs.
The lettuce. yeah, fucking exactly. Yeah, that makes sense looking over there.
Oh man. Mile of Croton was an Olympic champion, and he was what they called...
Hold on. I only just now got that you were talking about croutons because his last name is Croton.
No, he was from Croton.
You're from Croton. Yeah. I just got that. I just thought you just took a brief aside.
You know, sometimes you got to sit back and really
dig deep,
reminisce on how good croutons can be. So he was considered a 5-time Grand Slam winner. Now, they have a different word for it, but I already fucked up where he's from and probably his first name. So I didn't want to figure out how to say whatever it was. But it's basically saying that he goes to 4 different festivals every year, and if he wins every festival in that year, he's a Grand Slam winner. So he's done that 5 times.
So he's got the IHOP Grand Slam breakfast named after him.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, big time. So, I mean, this dude was a fucking force. He was known to drink raw bull's blood before a fight, before wrestling, to intimidate his opponent, which...
Yeah, that works.
It would work on me.
Yeah.
And he also said that he would do it for vitality and energy, which just sounds like a League of Legends stat. Like, get the fuck out of here, Milo. He had 6 Olympic titles.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I mean, in...
Maybe I should start drinking...
Jesus. Bull's cum, AJ.
Bull blood.
Bull blood. And...
I inject the cum.
The area that he was from was kind of known to just breed fucking big old corn-fed boys. Like,
Thick
it was,
boys.
yeah,
But, like,
just,
not like us, but, like, muscle.
not fat boys. Us, but if you could turn fat into muscle overnight. Which, our next episode, we have 6 easy ways that we have not utilized on how to turn fat into muscle overnight.
No, this is not. This is not a fit.
Clickbait every week. Get ready.
Get ready.
So there was even a story about this Milo dude saving Pythagoras from a collapsing building, in which he runs up to a column and holds it up as Pythagoras escapes. And I guess he and, like, Milo's family were close to Pythagoras. Whatever. Still sounds like bullshit. He didn't hold a building up to save
He definitely
Pythagoras.
did. His name...
As the story goes, Pythagoras escaped and turned around, and he saw the triangle of the collapsed column, and Milo holding it up, and he was like, I wonder what that length would be. But I know what these 2 lengths are. And
A squared plus B squared.
So Milo is responsible
C squared.
for the deaths of many children having to fucking learn the Pythagoras theorem.
Jesus Christ.
One day, while wandering through the forest, I know
As one
it sounds
does.
like a fucking Disney movie, but it's not going to end happily like a Disney movie because this is pressure points. Milo found a tree trunk that had been split down the middle. So, naturally, he decided, why don't I grab either side of it and split that tree in half? As one would,
I guess,
while when wandering the forest.
What else would you do as a gold medal Olympist and have no internet?
This
or
is true.
floozies.
So, he reaches in, he puts both of his hands in there, and he's just fucking pulling at this thing. It pulls apart a little bit. He's pushing his hands a little bit lower. But, I mean, it's a tree in the ground. So you're only going to get so far until the entire earth is working against you. And it wedges both of his hands into the split.
Ooh.
And good old Milo could not escape. Though he could win the Olympics, he could not beat a tree trunk. And he was devoured by fucking wolves while stuck in place.
Do you think they got a +1 vitality after eating him?
It depends on how recently you drink bull's blood.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, good old Milo of Crouton.
That's amazing. Like, that's such a great, strong start. I'm looking. I have a book.
You're good. I have one solid start and a very solid end.
That's
and
good.
about 30 seconds of good content in between, which is kind of standard for me.
So, let's do this. I like this one. Oh, I should say, I got my book, or my books. I got my stories from the book Strange Deaths, compiled by Steve Moore. It is the Fortean Times book of Strange Deaths.
Ooh.
So I ordered it from an obscure UK bookseller.
I touched it this afternoon, and AJ screamed at me.
I did.
So it is a collector's item.
Now
based
it is.
on that interaction.
It's a PP special.
Yeah.
It's going in our library.
Yeah, it'll go in.
We'll have to buy a bookshelf.
The glass box that we inevitably get.
All right, so this dude, Daniel PPier. He's French.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. Why does that happen? I think my sensitivity is up a little bit. Sorry about that. I'll just turn that down. So, he was 43 years old, and he had lost his job, so he decided, you know what? I want to fucking die.
Same.
Yeah, I totally feel that. So he asked his friend, Thierry Dyrick. Yeah, let's say that. Thierry Dyrick.
Thierry Dyrick. Okay.
To kill him. He was 29. He also didn't have a job, and he was like, I'm not gonna kill you, bro. Like, what the fuck? But Daniel said, I'll pay you for it. I will give you a letter that says, I paid him to kill me. I wanted to do this. Don't arrest him.
What? That's the stupidest shit in the world.
Plus 6,500 pounds.
So not only does he incriminate his friend by forcing his friend to kill him, now
he's got a chain of
he has
evidence.
A fucking chain of evidence, and his friend is now a hired killer.
Yes.
Like, this isn't going to end well for your buddy.
So he was like, I don't want to. But Daniel was like, well, I'm going to kill myself anyway. I'd just rather you do it so that, it's not as fucking terrifying.
What a dick.
Yeah, right? He fucking manipulated this guy into doing it.
If you ever do that to me, I will kill you
I've
for
already
being a
tried.
bad friend.
Perfect. So this was about March in 1993. They were like, let's go to a great restaurant, even though we're both broke. Spend like a little bit of money that we have and just go all out. Get a great dinner. So they do. They called it their Last Supper. That's a French word of where it is. It's in southeast France, let's say that.
Yeah.
So Daniel slapped down, it was a $200 bill for their dinner, a pound. These are pounds. I'm going to say dollars, though. Yeah. So they paid it by check, wrote it out, and they disappeared into the night.
Oh, yes.
Of course, later Daniel's body was found in the woods. His head was almost completely blown clean off by a shotgun.
Okay.
So his friend had basically gone up behind him, back of the head, and went, BAM!
Jesus.
So, the police found on his body his picture ID, the stub of a check made out to Dyrick, which was written on the stub of the check, payment for a contract to kill me. Good thing he kept the note. So then they arrested Dyrick, and he was like, I have this letter.
But he said I could
do it. So he was charged with murder, and the check bounced.
What a piece of shit. That's something I would do.
Yeah.
Oh, God, dude. Amazing.
You want me to do another one?
Yeah, hit me with another one.
I can do... I mean, look how many I have.
Yeah, you have a ton.
I'll do two or three.
Hit me with another.
Oh, this one's good. Gerard Hommel.
Gerard Hommel.
He was a mountaineer. He had climbed Everest 6 times.
Hey, you should leave those things in.
Why?
So that you know that you've done them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that way we don't do repeats and I have to ask you.
No, I just won't ever use this book
Did we talk
again.
about the kid that was swung in a circle by a clown?
You already asked me.
Yes, D, you've asked already.
Yes, we did.
Fuck.
So, yeah, he was, obviously very capable. Much more capable than I am. One day, in October 1993, he was in the kitchen of his home when his light bulb blew out.
No.
Let me turn the page.
Jesus Christ.
So he just grabbed a ladder, went up, changed the light bulb, no problem. Put in the light bulb, slipped, the ladder fell out from under him, cracked his head on the sink, and died instantly.
God damn.
I don't know why that's funny to me.
Just be aware it can happen anywhere, anytime.
To anyone.
If you don't already struggle with, paranoid schizophrenia, watch out.
Yeah, watch out.
It's just a reminder. You never know. Well, yeah, do another one.
Let's do another one. See, I've got a lot of short ones.
To be fucking... I love the page turn. by the way.
Oh, yeah, you like that? My sassy page turn. Mm-hmm. All right, let me get a drink to ease my parched throat.
Appease the ASMR folk.
Yeah. Now it'll get cut out.
Nice little gulp there.
Oh, yeah. Glug. So this guy, Hardy'll sing.
What?
They're all around the world, okay? So he was 41 years old, decided to take a bath at his home, November 1992.
And he bumped into a toaster, cooking himself
So he got on a ladder and fell off and cracked his head.
He paid his friend to nudge a toaster slowly
I
into
just
the
am
tub.
now realizing that last story was not interesting or unusual.
It was very fucking
fell over.
The thing about the thing about it is that it's interesting and unusual for this. It's unusual, I should say, for this show to have something so stupidly
The
common.
interesting part was he was a veteran mountain climber.
The
had nothing to
interesting
do with his
part
death.
was the slow
fuck am I
page turn
doing? Well,
for
yeah,
like
that's-
one sentence.
It was literally half a sentence on the other page.
Stupid as shit.
Oh,
I guarantee
God.
that book was written around the fact that they wanted to do that.
I'm sure of it.
They wrote the one thing and they were like, okay, now let's fill it in.
I thought it was more interesting.
No, you're good. I like
No, I
it.
love it. That is just the losing my shit. I can't.
Slowly descending into madness.
He Okay, so he took a bath. He's like, okay, I'm gonna open up this window in the normal way that I normally do, because it's a little bit too tall for him.
This is a basic slip and fall.
No, it's not. I made sure.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So he's like, so the normal way that he would kind of reach this window is he'd have to kind of like prop up a broomstick and like kind of use it to kind of prop himself up higher so he can reach it and just pull the window down.
Okay.
Okay? So he's doing this and he kind of jumps up on it, but at this point it's kind of up on his thigh. He thought he could kind of like jump and have it kind of support him.
What the fuck?
Like a pole vault almost, but under your thigh.
God, dude. Bad idea.
Since he just got out of his, what I assume was olive oil laced bath,
Jesus.
he slipped and impaled himself on the broom handle up his ass.
Oh.
He stood up and ran out of the bathroom screaming. He was taken to a hospital where they performed an operation. They had to completely remove part of his bowel.
God damn.
And then he died 2 weeks later. Because the whole thing caused blood clots.
Oh.
And they made it to his lungs.
Ay. Much worse than a turnip.
I do have another turnip story coming later.
I hope so.
I couldn't find it. I was going to start with it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, also, I do want to point out that that's what he said he did, was he was using it to try to reach the window. But I'm thinking he were just like the turnip story. He was getting a little freaky and was embarrassed about it when he slipped and fell.
Well, I mean, because you can't lose a broom in your ass.
Exactly. So, PP, word of advice for today, use a broom.
D recommends
Using a broom for anal stimulation.
Anal stimulation via broom, not via toothbrush.
Perfect.
All right, on to the next. So in 1888, in the Ottoman Empire, which is now current-day Iraq, about 8:30 p.m., there's this large fiery rock flying down from the sky.
Okay.
And hits the ground. A lot of people are kind of just confused. I mean, this is pre-1900. Like, this is, I mean, close to 1900s, but they're just like, what the fuck?
Are we being catapulted?
Yeah, and for the next 10 minutes, just little stones are flying down from the sky following this meteorite, right? Now, 2 unlucky men were hit, one of which was paralyzed. The other has officially been known to be the only human in existence to be killed by a meteorite.
Hey, you know what? Put that on my gravestone. That's how I want to go.
And they discovered this like 2 years ago they found out that this guy, like, this is the only known record of someone
Were they
being
just digging
killed.
under it and they're like, there's a corpse down here?
I think it was just like a record in the town that they were like, oh, yeah, this guy fucking died. And I'm sure being the son, like, imagine being the guy looking through files and you're like, damn, this guy died by meteorite. And you tell your friend, and your friend goes, has anybody
Wait,
died
has
by
anybody done
meteorite
that?
before? I don't know. And then discovering
search some records.
you discovered the only person that's been killed by a super space rock. Like, what the
Amazing. I would write a
fuck?
book and sell out immediately.
Yeah, hell yeah. Why not?
That's way more interesting than this one.
But it is unusual.
This one is unusual. I like that because it brings to mind that picture, the famous picture of the lady who was hit by a meteorite, but it was really small. But it, like, fucking shattered her pelvis. It was, like,
dude.
super bruised.
I'm
and
sure.
Beat the fuck up. So, like... And that one was tiny. Like a quarter size or something. I couldn't imagine. Bonk!
Done.
You wouldn't even feel anything. You just bonk. You're dead.
God.
All right, so... I like it, in this book it says, a disc jockey, a DJ, a radio DJ... Ashwari Sharma told his listeners in Calcutta that the best thing you can do, this is January 1994,
Okay.
best thing you can do to, like, go on an acid trip, to do LSD, if you don't have LSD, is to take a bath and drop your radio into it.
No. Oh, God.
He faced 20 manslaughter charges.
Jesus.
From people
Fucking dumb.
Then they were all young people. They were all like sub-20s.
Goddamn.
Youngsters.
Bunch of dummies.
What a... Why would you even joke about
Damn
like,
it.
one, everybody... Nowadays,
Jesus.
everybody knows that meme.
Oh,
but-
no, I just made a joke about people putting brooms up their ass. To clarify, nobody try to sit on a
shit.
broom.
Don't do that.
Don't do it. Oh, we got to go back and cut that shit out. That one's going to
shit,
come back
yeah.
and bite me in the broomstick ass.
So this book is in categories.
Uh-huh.
So now we're going into a new category.
So I'm guessing the previous category was bathtubs.
Maybe? I don't fucking remember. No, that chapter was a ridiculous way to go.
No, it was not a ridiculous way to go to slip and fall while putting in a new fucking light bulb and hitting your head on a sink.
Right?
It's not a
That is
ridiculous
not-
way to go.
That is too real.
I call bullshit.
Just put in an LED and never have to change it the rest of your life.
Oh, man.
Just never turn on your lights.
Jesus. Okay, so what's this next category?
They brought it on themselves.
Oh, no, I don't like
It's ironic deaths.
I don't like the victim blaming.
I
on
do
this
not.
one.
But it starts, no one really knows what Arthur Sharland was getting out of it. That's all I'm going to read directly from it.
God.
But, you know, he liked to get a little hanky-panky with a little shocking electricity. He was 77 years old. He was in London, and he would sit in his armchair at the end of the day with 2 wires running from an electrical socket
Oh, no.
attached to his nipples.
Oh, God.
And he would just sit there. As far as we know, he would just, like, sit there for a while. It looked like a while.
Oh, God.
Just, like, yanking one off.
Just
So-
shooting fucking lightning out of the
Yeah.
tip of his
Zap,
dick.
zap,
He's a fucking Tesla
Yeah.
coil.
He could charge his cell phone.
Remotely.
Oh, I mean, if it wasn't in 1989, but yeah.
Oh, God. He really was. He was a human Tesla coil.
Yeah. he was- So he was found in August 1989 dead, attached to his device,
Uh-huh.
which was basically an electrical socket or sometimes a battery attached to his nipples. It had looked like, based on the scarring from his chest,
Oh.
that he had been regularly plugging himself in for a large part of his life.
He's powering up.
Yeah. Who needs to eat?
He was the first,
He was the first Iron Man.
he was the first electric-dependent human being.
Yeah. So yeah.
First AC, he was AC before AC/DC was in existence.
Yeah, well, yeah, he had scarring. Like, he had a bunch of fresh
well,
ones.
I'm sure.
To, years old scarring.
Yeah, well...
And it wasn't always on his nipples. It was all around his chest.
Well, I mean, this was what you said, 1880?
1989.
1989, sorry. I got mixed up.
Yeah, in the electrical socket in his house.
I was
in
very
1880.
confused. But yeah, so 1989, I would imagine that they didn't really have great electric regulating. Like, there's a good chance he was getting hit with a lot of fucking just heavy charges every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. And that's what made it fun. A little, And then chances are he died multiple times, and then the shock brought him back. He'd get another surge.
Power is
fucking wake back up.
That's where the...
That's the thrill.
Yeah, he loved the NDEs, man.
Oh, yeah. So do you want to go? I can do another.
What was the title of this section?
They brought it on themselves.
Okay, I do have a good one for this.
Okay.
So in 1903, a man by the name of Moses was being treated for malaria. Now, malaria...
Oh, good old malarial Moses.
Man, malarial Moses. If you don't know malaria, well, I don't know where you've been, but it generally causes fever, flu-like symptoms like every other fucking illness. However, you'll get jaundice, anemia... without treatment, you can get kidney failure, seizures, confusion, coma, and they all pretty much will lead to death if you don't get treatment for it. Now, general treatment is through a series of different pills. There are a couple different companies that make pills for you to take to treat malaria. However, back in 1903, they didn't really have a cure for it. It was just kind of, you got malaria?
Good luck.
Fuck off. So, Moses decided he was going to seek out religious treatment. And at the time, he had been prescribed a couple different remedies by his doctor. Most probably just wouldn't have worked anyway. But he got to his pastor, and the pastor threw out all of the remedies his doctor gave to him. And he started chanting for help from the spirits from above to cure Moses, to cure malaria Moses. And because Moses had had malaria for so long, he couldn't really stand up very well. He was very weak. So he was kind of sitting, slouched down a little bit. And his pastor just starts bonking him on the head with the Bible, right?
Of course.
He would go, sit up straight, Moses, bonk. And Moses would just, take the hit. Now, after an hour of slamming the good word into Moses' head, the pastor turned to his wife and he says, begin hitting your husband on the head with this. My arm is tired from beating the shit out of your husband. So she starts hitting Moses on the head with a Bible. Now, this is 1903. This isn't the, soft cover King James Bible.
That's like thick
this
Bible.
Thing is they're using A4 print paper for this shit, cardstock almost.
It's 100-pound cardstock.
You're getting hit by bricks on the back of your head, engraved with the word of Jesus. So she hits him a handful of times, and Moses just kind of collapses unconscious into bed.
No.
Yeah, right? So a few days pass, and Moses decides to go back into the pastor. No, that was not his death story yet.
Interesting.
I know. He got knocked unconscious, so he only got a concussion via the word of God. So he goes back into the pastor for treatment, and the pastor...
it didn't work. Do it again.
So the pastor grabs the Bible... He's chanting to the spirits. He swings down on Moses' head, and he falls to the ground, dead on impact. One time. One swing.
One swing.
So the pastor was arrested and charged with witchcraft, stating, and he said to the court, the red devils possessed the man, and he was following the Bible's instructions to drive them out. And the court said, okay, well, where in the Bible does it say to beat the shit out of people with the book?
I was just going to say,
with that,
that's
with
exactly what I was just going to say.
With that verse specifically. And the pastor could not find that verse
really?
to clarify. So they took Moses' body and they determined the cause of death. Now.
Devils.
No. The death was a shock to the heart, and the pastor was to blame. And he gives Bible beatings a bad name.
I knew you were going to say that, you fucking bitch. I fucking hate you. So it was a heart thing? He didn't snap his neck?
Yeah, his fucking heart. So he went into shock, and his heart just fucking done.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it wasn't like a brain
pun.
tumor.
I remember you writing this pun.
And I was laughing, and I turned to AJ, and I go, just so you know, I'm about to drop the worst fucking pun ever.
I hate you.
All right, what you got? Hit me with a couple.
Let's see. Why do I do this? Nataro Ito.
Why? Why do you do this?
41 years old, owned a restaurant. He's from Osaka, Japan, and he was running for election to their House of Representatives in 1979.
Okay.
You know, he's on the up and up. He's a laborer. He's going from blue collar to white collar to blue collar. I don't fucking know.
He's changing collars.
Yeah. You know, he's a down to earth person. So he was like, "Hey, friends." You know, he got some friends together and like, "You guys have been so great. You guys have been helping me run this campaign. I think I know what we need to do to get me elected."
Okay.
He said, "Yo, friends, come beat the shit out of me."
What the fuck?
So that people will... I'll tell them that I was beat up for running for the House of Representatives.
Oh,
so
my
people will be
God.
like, "Oh my God, he's being prosecuted. He's such a good person."
So it's basically just this big publicity stunt.
Yeah.
To show the leftists don't want us in power. Shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so he's staging a beating. Mm-hmm. This is going to end well. He's on this
yeah, of
episode. I
course.
think he survives, and he later went on to become the Queen of England.
No, the Prince of England. No, Prince Andrew. He ended up fucking a lot of minors.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, halfway through the episode, I don't know if you noticed, but if you check your phone, the episode title has changed from Interesting and Unusual Deaths to Interesting and Unusual Stories of Success in the Political World.
Yes. Go double check.
Damn it.
So, you know, his idea was like, okay, I'll get the voter sympathy. I'll run the rest of my campaign from a hospital bed.
Oh my God, dude.
So
what?
you gotta beat me up like pretty decent.
What a stupid, like, imagine being his fucking campaign manager. No, we are not doing
I'm
that.
sure one of his friends was his campaign manager.
They hate him.
He
He's
was
like,
his own campaign manager.
they all hate him. The dude was like, you know what would be a good idea?
Yeah. They just don't fucking like him. So you know what they do? They beat the shit out of him,
Yeah.
and then they leave.
To be honest, if I had the chance to beat up a politician and when he asked me to, I'd do it.
Ted Cruz.
I don't give a shit who it is.
Come to me if you need to get the shit kicked out of you, you spineless bitch. Sorry. So run back to Mexico. So he got the shit kicked out of him and was like, okay, that really fucking hurt. I've got some broken ribs.
You don't say.
I need to do one last thing to really sell it.
He's standing there waiting for his beating, and they're showing up with lead pipes.
Yeah, they're finding rubber bands around him. Knuckle dusters.
Knuckles.
Fuck yeah.
Somebody's got a gun. He's like, wait a minute.
I'm just gonna leg you. Just gonna leg you. No, so he's like, okay, I need to do like one more thing to really sell it. So he gets a knife.
What the fuck?
And he stabs himself in the leg.
Oh, in the artery. I'm
And-
paralyzed.
No, he stabs himself right in the leg.
Fucking Ricky Bobby over
and
here.
he gets up and he's like, "Ooh, that really fucking hurts." He puts some like cloth over over the bandage.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
So they
Jesus.
he walked to his car, which was about 20 yards away. Didn't quite make it. He bled out before he reached his car.
Wait.
He was gonna drive himself to the hospital.
Oh my God. Well, thank the Lord this idiot didn't fucking... Actually, surprisingly enough, he went on to become Texas Representative Ted Cruz.
That's true.
Fucking moron.
Yeah. How fucking stupid. Like, at least have your friends stay there
What year was this?
79.
Oh my God, dude.
Fantastic. I fucking love that one.
So he had survived the initial beating, but it was him really trying to upsell it, and he just
went a little too deep, and yeah, he nicked the artery.
hit the wrong place.
Just
Wrong place, wrong time, man. These politicians,
I love
people
it.
are just coming after him, right?
yeah, right.
Fucking
Totally
moron.
not self-induced. So this is okay. Here's better. John Butterick.
Ooh, there you go.
He's
you're getting to names you can pronounce.
Yeah, 4-letter names.
You're really getting back into the flow of things.
Yeah.
John and your favorite food topic.
Yeah, Butterick. He was a researcher at West Virginia University. So smart dude. We actually got somebody who's like not a complete idiot.
He's in the book.
He was obsessed. He researched, age extension. That's what he was really
Okay.
looking into. He spent a lot of time, with attempting to elongate age in like mice and cells and stuff like that.
Extend the life.
So he was in Canada studying, and he was like, okay, well, I think I've got a good idea of how I can extend my life. So he started taking a chemical called BTH. I don't know what it is. It's really like, I can't pronounce it because I'm not a chemist major thing, but it's called BTH. It's like butyl something. Who the fuck knows? So it's used in food packaging as a preservative, not actually in the food, but in the packaging, so like it doesn't get moldy.
Oh, okay.
Or
yeah.
it doesn't support microbial life or stuff like that. Keeps food, keeps food fresh for longer.
Keeps it fresh. Keeping it fresh, right?
So his theory that he was working on, his hypothesis said, you take BTH, you might be able to live for up to 200 years.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So he 6 months straight of taking this. When in January 1980, he was found lying in the bed in his apartment,
God.
having bled to death, with blood covering his clothes, his mattress, a cup, all over the kitchen floor, the bathroom floor. He had died at the age of 33. Let me tell you a little bit about...
Certainly didn't elongate anyone's life here.
Let me tell you a little bit about BTH.
Yeah, hook me up with some facts.
It's also known as warfarin. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I absolutely know what warfarin is.
Do you?
Jesus Christ, what a fucking moron. So he basically turned himself into like the most stretched out balloon in history. Like the human balloon.
Warfarin is used in small amounts as an anticoagulant. It's also used as rat poison. Yeah, he made it so he could not clot. It doesn't say specifically like what he bled out from.
I mean, he probably just fucking
Bit his
stubbed
tongue.
his toe, for God's sake.
Yeah, for 6... Imagine taking a massive blood thinner for 6 months.
So I worked in pest control for a little bit, and
you
it does sound weird, I know.
You did. I forgot about that.
The reason why warfarin is in rat poison isn't because they'll eat it and it'll just poison and kill them. It's because it turns that rat basically into like a ticking time bomb, right? Because when you're a mouse, you're in these tight spaces, and like mice can squeeze through like the hole the size of a pencil. Their bones are really fucking malleable. However,
Like a child.
when you make it so that your blood can't clot, and when you make it so that if you bump into anything, you're basically just going to fucking bruise and bleed forever, a mouse tries to squeeze through a small hole and it just dies. It just bleeds out. It causes
internally.
so much internal bleeding. And so that's why rat poison and baby aspirin, for example, have similar qualities.
Delicious.
Oh my God, what a fucking idiot.
Isn't that
dude.
great?
Jesus. Oh my God.
Oh, I really like that.
How many more do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Ooh,
11.
Wee.
Oh, I'll do a couple more. Is that cool?
Yeah, you're good. I mean, I can take one real quick. I got one.
Do it.
Okay, let's see. Where were we? All right, real quick. So George Millett he's just a young kid in 1909. And it's his birthday. He's celebrating his birthday.
How nice.
As young kids would. He's running away from 6 girls because they're chasing to give good old George birthday kisses.
Spankings? Oh, no, I mean kisses.
Birthday kisses. It's 1909. It's not as progressive. And George is a little bit of a fucking nerd, right? And in his front pocket, he has an ink eraser, which now ink erasers really just look like a regular pencil eraser, right? Like it looks like something that'll.
Wasn't it back rubbery. And then it was like a blotter, like goo? No. Or am I thinking later?
It basically looks like a round scalpel. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I'm thinking of an ink blotter.
It's like a really, really wide scalpel, more or less. So, while trying to escape these girls, he trips, falls forward, and pierces his fucking heart, and dies on the scene.
Hell yeah! I hope he got his kisses in at the end there.
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah. Imagine being the one girl that's like, "We got him," and kisses him, and he's dead. You are forever known as the necrophiliac.
You bend down, you kiss him, you pull back, you're like, why isn't he moving? And you're just covered in his blood.
He feels cold against my lips. Oh, God. Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right. Walter Hallis of Leeds, which sounds like a much cooler name, because this is pretty modern. This is 1979 again. He was a tough boy. He was like a
tough
leather
guy.
Jacket, jeans, and cowboy boots, kind of. Not that in and of itself is a bad getup. Just like it's the attitude.
It's not all that great.
Oh yeah. So he was a tough boy, but he had a toothache and he fucking hated the dentist.
Oh.
And he was like, I'm not gonna go to that gall-darn dentist.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm tough. I'm afraid of nothing, not even no dentist. I just think it's gobbledygook. No,
gobbledygook. I fucking love that word, by the way.
I do too. That's a great one.
So good.
So he figured he'd go to his friend and his workmate, whose name was Mark, and say, hey, I need you to punch me in the jaw and knock my tooth out.
Okay, real quick. I just want to check up, mainly on you. Why are so many of these stories that you have people asking to be attacked?
We're still in the they brought it on themselves section.
I realize that, but some of those were not on the they brought it on themselves section.
Well, we'll see.
Are you okay?
I'm doing
no
fine.
offense, I'm not going to do any dumb shit if you ask me
I
to.
need you to punch me in the jaw.
I'm not going to do that.
And hopefully it'll work out like this with Walter.
God.
So his friend Mark was like, I don't really want to do that. But he said, okay, fine, whatever. I'll just punch you. Gave him a right jab. Hallis, who was 26 years old, fell to the ground. His tooth knocked out. Success. And then he kept falling.
Oh.
Smacked his head on the concrete floor. Cracked his skull.
Oh.
Died 6 days later in the hospital.
Oh, my God, dude. Fucking hell.
And that's why you never want to fucking start a fight.
That's why you never,
or be in a fight at all.
The thing, it
like, de-escalate. Because
fucking...
if accidental death happens, we are fragile meat sacks.
You could be a world-renowned climber on a ladder fixing a light bulb, and the next thing you know, you're cracking your neck on the side of a fucking
Interesting and unusual.
So, it fucks
always
me
fucking
up watching, like, fight videos where somebody, like, they get hit and they just go, like, stiff board and go face first into the ground. And everyone's like, oh, I'm like, they
could be dead.
Could be dead right now.
Yeah.
And and the sound a head makes when it hits cement is the worst
especially from
thing.
the inside. Have you ever fallen and cracked your head on cement?
Yeah.
It sounds awful.
It happened when I was a kid. I actually have a scar on the back of my head. When I get my hair cut, I'll show you.
You're never going to get your hair cut.
But no, dude, the only time that a head hitting a floor is funny is when it's somebody else's kid.
That is true.
Because they just bounce.
They're bouncy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They're like weeble wobbles.
God, I saw a video of some, I don't know, martial arts, like, trainer. And the biggest thing that he was focusing on was de-escalation.
It's just walking out. He goes, lesson 1. Get ready to fight. The hell you're ready, and he just walks out.
No,
Never
like,
fight.
He was like, you never want to fight. Fighting should be the last resort after running away. Like, you never want to fight because you could be doing nothing, throw one punch, falls, cracks his head, he's dead. You've got that on you for the rest of your life. Even if legally you're fine, that is on you for the rest of your life.
The thing is, you don't know, 1, the capabilities of somebody else, and 2, you don't know what the fuck they're going through. Like, he could knock you out, but it could be a situation where they don't stop. And that's what fucks me up. Is it like, I could go unconscious getting hit, and then somebody just keeps going, and I just get beat to death without even knowing it.
Yeah.
It fucks me up. Like, I don't... I've come to really fucking hate fights.
Yeah, no, it's
like,
awful.
No thanks.
And basically, he had all these like strategies of like, what do you do when you're in the bar and this guy comes up and is like, why are you looking at my girlfriend? Why are you looking at my girl? He was like, just here's a great thing to disarm and say, oh, I'm so sorry. She just reminds me of my mother when she was younger. She just passed away. And like completely diffuses the situation.
That's smooth.
And there were some smooth ones. I'll try to find them.
I've been in love with my mother since I was 6 years old.
No, don't say that.
Oh, fuck.
No, another one was like, what are you looking at? And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. That shirt, that's awesome. Where'd you get it? Like, just like...
The toilet store, but boom!
Yeah, exactly.
I would need to go to this guy's class and just sit in the back, and every time he says shit...
Just fucking derail it. Just fucking derail it.
And then he comes over and beats me to death.
Oh, yeah, he would.
My worst fucking nightmare.
But yeah, like that, if you take one thing away from PP today, don't fight anybody.
Don't be a smartass like me.
Don't be a fucking smartass.
I will be beaten to a bloody pulp one day.
So I'm finally out of they brought it on themselves.
Oh, thank God.
You're welcome. This is the madness of cults. Do you have any cult-related killings? Or deaths, I should say.
Not so much.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right,
Go away.
Keith Hagler and his wife, Kate, they got of course it's Arkansas. They got on a bus
South. This is
full of
good.
people
Okay.
in July 1982.
In July 2020. I think I know where this is headed.
So they were members of a cult led by the Messiah. Super original name.
Messiah.
They were like, we're pretty small. Let's get more people into our cult. Best way to do that is to hijack a bus full of people and threaten them and say, we're going to kill all of you until the cops send a TV crew.
Oh, my God.
That's it.
What?
They wanted a TV crew so that they could talk about their cult. So they actually did. A camera crew was dispatched by helicopter. Got there, they set up, and they said, hold on, now that you're here, and we still have all these hostages, we're gonna kill each other. Because our cult is so legit that we will be resurrected in 3 days.
So wait. They hold all these people hostage, and then they say,
psych,
you've been punked. And Ashton Kutcher pops out and he goes, everybody get your fucking suicide machines. Like, what the fuck?
Get your shock and shell helmets. No, yeah.
You're just sitting there and you're like, man, I'm just trying to get to work. Like, I'm just trying to go to the fucking library.
I want to go home.
God.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, now we're going to kill each other. Or kill ourselves. Because we're going to be resurrected. So the cops were like, put the fucking gun down. What the fuck are you talking about? It was all live broadcast, apparently.
Oh,
so I really want to go find it.
Yeah. Okay, what's it called?
It's Keith and Kate Hagler. I don't know if we'll be able to find it, but Hagler himself was like, okay, let's get the gun ready. His wife's in front of him. He's going to shoot her. And he's like, He kind of hesitates. The wife, on the other hand, turns around, shoots him in the head, and then shoots herself in the face.
Jesus.
After 3 days, they did not get resurrected. I like that that's mentioned.
It's just in the bus. They just left the bus
Yeah,
alone.
they just live streamed for 3 days.
And they're like, if it comes back,
We got it.
Channel 5 News is going to know first.
Amazing.
Oh, God.
I doubt you'll be able to find it, but that would be
How do you spell it?
Haigler.
Okay.
So while you're looking up, I'll do another cult-ish one. So this dude, 1975, they found the body of Jean-Paul Maurice. I can say that. He was 20 years old. He was found beneath the walls of Donant Citadel, which is an old fortress in Belgium. They just assumed that he died of natural causes. There wasn't any like there weren't any major signs of anything. So they're like, okay, whatever. They buried him. Cool. The next year, in February, so 2 months later, another young man, Michael Perséphone, sure, he was found dead near another old fortress in Belgium called Namur Castle. They examined him a little more in depth, and they realized all of his internal organs were crushed to bits.
Oh, my God. What?
Outside, he looked totally fine. I mean, dead, but his organs were just dust. They were just crumpled, gooey dust.
So he was turned into a human hot dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Same
my
taste,
God,
too.
Okay. Well, cook him just right.
Yeah, put him in the coffee pot.
Oh, no.
Let's see, where was I? Oh, yeah.
Boil.
So somebody connected, they were like, that's weird that, like, two young men found, like, near these fortresses, the old World War II fortresses, crushed. But, so they actually dug the previous guy up and looked at him, as much as they could. Looked like his internal organs had been turned to streusel as
God.
well.
Oh, God.
So, like, what the fuck? Let's investigate this. Also, I'm going to tell you, this is still a mystery. True crime segment.
Piece of shit. I fucking hate this.
The only connection they found between both of the young men is that they were members of the Children of God sect from California. Children of God is fucked up if you haven't heard of them.
Huh.
That's a fucked up cult. That would be a good episode.
Okay.
They found that they had both died in the same way, but there was no explanations for their death, and they had recently been attempting to leave the Children of God sect.
Oh, my God.
They were definitely murdered.
Yeah.
And
That's weird.
So,
I don't really know.
Their internal organs were crushed by an amazing force, is the quote.
Didn't harm the outside.
Yeah, I mean, you can get crushed and your skin's fine.
Huh. Weird. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think they were stoned to death. Just put a board and a bunch of rocks on them.
Jesus. All right, I got a good one.
You do? Oh,
Yeah.
you better.
So, a man by the name of Franz Reckelt.
Why do you do this?
To hurt you. He was a tailor from France. And in, I think it was like the early 1920s. Excuse me, sorry. He was working to figure out a way of creating a wearable parachute. And when I say wearable parachute, not just something you strap to your back, like
integrated into your clothing?
Yeah. So that it
Why would you need that?
So it was mainly for pilots, so that they didn't have to worry about putting on additional gear. They could just put this on as their uniform.
Yeah.
They would still, it would be form fitting. And
Still
then
look
if
good.
they need to jump out of their airplane, they can just
Okay, that makes sense.
flying
that makes
squirrel
sense.
to the ground.
All right, I'm
right?
glad you had an answer.
Yeah. So, he was actually, so Franz was known as the Flying Tailor, kind of due to his inventiveness and influence on parachuting. Now, his whole concept of this, get up, he had tested from his 5th floor apartment with dummies multiple times. Completely successful. However, when he tried to change the design to be a little bit more like slim form fitting, it just stopped working. And he was like, okay, I'll go back to the original design. And he couldn't really replicate it very well.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So he had worked on this for quite a while and figured out, okay, I think this is going to be the best design. It's going to be the most like perfect setup. So he reaches out to more or less the Paris police, and he basically gets permission to conduct his test at the Eiffel Tower. Now,
On a dummy.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he submits and he says, hey, going to bring a dummy there. We're going to test this, toss it off the Eiffel Tower at 187 feet. It'll fall down. We'll see if it catches itself or if the dummy explodes at the bottom. Now, he gets there that day, and he changed his mind last minute, and he shows up in his little get-up. And his friends are coercing him for hours, saying,
Do it.
You should do the dummy. You should do the dummy. And his whole thing was he switched himself in with the dummy to surprise everyone and generate hype so that everyone can see the man who can parachute himself to the ground. Before he jumped, he even said, I want to try this experiment myself and without trickery, as I intend to prove the worth of my invention, which is a fair approach.
When it's not
When
a
it's
parachute.
not something that leads to your untimely demise. Now,
I wonder how this one ends.
smiling before his jump, he steps from a step stool onto a table, onto the railing, and he turns and he stands there for 40 seconds contemplating his next move. Do I want to switch the dummy in? Do I want to switch in the dummy? And he did switch in the dummy, but that was mainly just because he was a fucking dummy and jumped off, leaping into the sky. And surprisingly enough, everyone watching saw the top half of his parachute fucking clothing kind of pop out, right? The only problem is that if it doesn't all come out, it kind of just flaps in the wind, and it ended up entangling itself around him, more or less mummifying him before he hit the ground. So he fell
At least he didn't see it coming.
almost 200 feet. Yeah, I mean, he certainly felt it. And he plummeted 187 feet to a skull-crushing finale. And he died on impact. Like two of his fucking, I think it was his left arm and his left leg were just shattered. Oh. He hit his head and everything. And there were just crowds of people fucking watching. They were like, what the hell?
What the fuck? Well, now I'm scarred for the rest of my fucking
right?
life.
I mean, it was the 1920s. I'm sure they'd seen worse.
Yeah, I guess post World War I, they're like, okay, this is normal. All right, I got one more that's in the witchcraft section.
Oh, okay.
I skipped a couple. They were mostly just... Okay, I'll do a quick version of one that I skipped, because it was one of the longer ones. Because we are running a little long. We always do on this one, though. This is a fun episode.
It's always longer.
No
worries.
So, this lady she's young. She's like 6, I think, and she has horrible migraines, horrible headaches.
This 6-year-old lady. Yes.
Yes. A 6-year-old woman. Well, I forgot that it starts out when she was young.
No worries.
Her mom takes her to a psychic healer.
Okay.
And the psychic healer says, okay, I will cure your daughter's headaches, but you need to send me a lock of her hair and 100 francs every month.
Oh, God, this is just a scam.
It worked. Her headaches went away until she was in her 20s, late 20s. And her mother has passed away a couple months before, and she realizes, oh, the payments stopped because my mom died. I totally forgot about that.
Oh no!
My
Not
headache.
The payments.
So she went to visit the psychic again,
Okay.
and the psychic was still alive, an old lady, and she. Sorry, I was just wondering about that. Sentence that just popped out of the page. So she went over. She visited her. Her husband dropped her off. Just kind of waited outside. She comes back out, Her headaches are gone again. She's resumed the payments.
Okay.
Or so her husband thinks. She's continuing to pay this lady. Headaches are gone, though. Couple days later, police go to the psychic's house because nobody's seen her for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out she's stabbed to death.
Oh, fuck.
Multiple, like 27 times. Like, she is stabbed the fuck to death. And she's surrounded by hundreds of envelopes that she gets every month. She was scamming a ton of people.
Yeah. And somebody just came in and was like,
it was the lady.
Enough. Damn.
They traced it back to, well, the lady then, when the cops were kind of investigating it, she said her husband, I killed someone.
Oh, God.
And her husband was like,
Jesus.
oh.
Get it together.
Police?
Yeah.
He ratted. He's a rat. Here we go. I got Robert Williams. He's 45 years old. He claimed to be a witchcraft practitioner. No problem. Like, hey, this world, there's so much to it. Whatever. If that's what you want to practice, go ahead. I don't give a shit as long as you're not hurting other people. So he was like, okay, I'm going to start practicing this witchcraft. And he very soon lost his job. So obviously witchcraft isn't working too good for him.
Yeah, so he wishes himself into a new one. That's how witchcraft works.
Yeah. He lost his job as chief psychologist at the State Industrial Prison in Hutchinson, Kansas.
Oh boy, okay.
So it seems like he wasn't able to use his magic to get his job back. So he shot himself in the head.
Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he basically... Chief psychologist comes out and says, I'm a witchcraft practitioner. That's kind of the last thing you want to hear from your psychologist. You know?
Oh, no. And then he ends up dead. Like, he ends up killing himself. You're just like, what the fuck?
Because he can't get another job.
Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, this section is called Fatal Food. It was actually pretty cool.
Okay.
I might do just an episode on food that kills someone when it's not like a poisonous food, because that's easy.
When it's not a turnip that goes up somebody's ass.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not accounting anything out over here.
So, police in Paris were investigating the death of Michelle Federici. Federici.
Yeah,
Federici. There we go. In 1976. She, obviously she had been murdered.
Clearly.
She had
based on the evidence that I have now
that
seen.
I have already announced. She was stabbed 6 times. They were in her throat and chest.
Self-induced.
Self-induced, definitely.
God.
The strangest thing, the detectives were sitting around smoking their cigarettes, their long, thin cigarettes, drinking wine under the Eiffel Tower,
stroking their small mustaches,
eating a baguette,
God.
watching a mime, and they were like, what the fuck did she get stabbed with? Why is there Parmesan in these cuts? They found Parmesan
What?
in her stab wounds. They're like, what the fuck is going on?
This is why they were smoking. They were like, what the fuck? Do we have a Parmesan murderer?
Yeah, there's a Parmesan murderer about.
It's from the YouTube channel of the guy that turns cheese into sharp knives.
So
You've heard of sharp cheddar. Now wait for sharp Parmesan.
So one of the detectives named Henry, I'm not going to read them, Vanton, sure.
Hey, good job.
That's not bad. So he had an idea out of nowhere, after smoking an entire pack of cigarettes.
In an hour.
Yeah. He's like, wait. Her husband owns a grocery store.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go ask him, because he had already been asked about it. Like, he had a decent alibi, but he walked up.
I was working at the grocery store.
The
yes, an alibi.
The detective walked up and said, hey, does your store stock Parmesan? And her husband broke down. Because, yes, the store definitely stocked Parmesan because his wife, who was 20 years younger than him, stopped putting out, essentially. It says, spurned his love, which to me means she just stopped sleeping with him.
Oh, poor baby.
She then had an affair with him, with his best friend. She slept with his best friend
On him.
on top of him. And when he found out, he grabbed a broken piece of Parmesan cheese. It was like jagged.
Yeah.
And stabbed her to death with it.
Bro, what?
That's just the first thing that he
When
grabbed.
did this happen?
I don't fucking know. Where was it? 76. It's Michelle Federici. Don't fact check me on the air.
No. I just want to see the images of
I don't know if they
her
have
fucking
images of that.
wounds.
But yeah, apparently she was.
It's just a picture of a lady with spaghetti on her chest. Like, God damn it. Fuck.
If you find anything cool, awesome.
No, I didn't find anything.
The shit part was he was found guilty of murder, then released after time spent, which was 2 years. He was found guilty of murder and was convicted to time spent, and he only spent 2 years in prison for the murder of his wife.
Dude.
Isn't that wonderful?
Jesus Christ. Figures.
Here's a story about a lady who is in a nursing home who shoved a donut in another lady's mouth and choked her to death.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to cover that one, though.
Good Lord.
Oh, the chair's just out of my leg length, my short leg length.
The return of the squeaky chair.
Oh, let's see. I got one right here. Leslie Mary, 56. He was... This is such a stupid story. It's not this funny. So he was walking home in East London in July 1989, where he was murdered by a turnip thrown from a passing car.
What?
There were 23 incidents where melons, potatoes,
What?
cabbages, and turnips were thrown at passengers from a moving car. One jogger needed surgery for internal injuries
Oh my God.
because
But
he was hit in the
to be
stomach by
fair,
a cabbage.
Imagine being hit by a fucking watermelon going like 50 miles an hour at you.
Yeah, exactly. A woman needed treatment for cuts after her glasses were shattered on her face by a potato.
She was actually treated for cuts because someone threw a handful of Parmesan out the window at her.
Did you look her up?
No, I looked up Parmesan stabbing, and it didn't really come up.
I
with
gave you the
anything, so
name.
I wasn't paying attention. I was typing.
Michelle Federici.
All right.
That's Federici. The Michelle only has one L because it's French.
French.
All right, but I love it. So Leslie Mary was struck from behind. He thought he had been kicked, and then he saw the turnip rolling away. He was like, what the fuck? He was taken to the hospital and treated for a fractured rib, but he actually had a ruptured spleen and they didn't know about it.
Oh.
So it went untreated and he died a couple days later.
Oh my God.
The official communication from the police, ACAB, was, if a group of youths are walking or driving around at night with raw turnips or similar vegetables, then they are probably not planning to eat them. Wow.
Oh, they're
Thanks.
real clever.
That's wow.
Not bad.
Nobody could have thought of that.
Man, if you don't know about the turnip story, go to our first episode.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite
there's
one.
There's a good turnip death. Do you want me to tie it up with the last one, with a final one?
I've got a couple quick ones.
Okay, yeah, hit me with them.
Real quick. Okay, this one's just funny for me.
God damn it.
Joseph LaRose, 31, of Tampa, Florida. This is a Florida Man episode now.
Follies.
He was delivering ice cream to a supermarket in 1991, where a 500-pound rack of Nutty Buddies fell on him, breaking his leg and crushing his skull.
That's a lot of nuts!
I set you up! You're welcome!
Oh my God.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but Nutty Buddies are where it's at.
Oh, yeah. Fuck
Especially
yeah.
No, I'm thinking Nutter Butters.
Nutty Buddies are good, too. They're the wafer, peanut butter, chocolate dip.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Those are good, too.
Ooh, I wouldn't mind that.
If you haven't had those?
Except my death by Nutty Buddy would be because I consumed too many,
Yeah.
not because I was crushed by them.
Yeah, same. Let's see. Robert Duncan of Aberdeen, Washington, 1991. He was killed by one of two people.
Okay.
Richard Daley or Richard Tupper, the two dicks.
The double dick, I see.
Those two dudes were out hunting grouse. And Duncan was shot by one of them. Nobody knows who.
It was Dick Cheney, actually.
This entire section is called Rotten Shots, and it should be called the Dick Cheney metaverse. So,
Jesus Christ.
they fucking The interesting thing was
Rotten dicks.
Duncan, at the time of his accidental shooting, he was sitting in his daughter's kitchen drinking coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, accidental deaths.
Oh.
I accidentally shot into the kitchen. I
Yeah.
thought there was a grouse inside drinking coffee.
Whoopsie daisies.
Oops.
Duncan looked like a grouse drinking tea with my daughter.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. And then this is my last one.
Okay, and I got the
This
last
is-
one tied together.
100% the cherry on top.
Oh, perfect.
James Burns. I wanna look more into this, see if there are more details at a later time. But James Burns, 40 years old, Houston, Texas. He was married, probably not a great relationship, I'll say, when in 1979 his wife shot him in the back, paralyzing him from the neck down.
Oh, boy.
So, that's not good. He's paralyzed completely. August 1987. He gets married again.
Okay.
Within 2 weeks, his new wife, Berta, a couple years younger than him, he was like, that bitch is cheating on me, isn't she?
That.
It's because my dick doesn't work anymore.
Oh, God.
No, he doesn't say that. But he convinced her to put a piece of string in his mouth,
Okay.
where he bit it, and he went, "Nyeh," like that. He like moved his head back with the string in his teeth,
Uh-huh.
which pulled the trigger of a pistol
What?
that was in a box in his lap. He pulled back 3 times and shot her 3 times, and then she died.
What the fuck?
It's like it's like one of those Rube Goldberg machines,
Jesus
but at the end he shoots
Christ.
his wife.
Well, I've got a solid Rube Goldberg machine to tie things up as well.
Do you? How
So-
convenient.
On the 24th of October, in 1988, Catchy the Poodle fell 13 floors from the balcony in Buenos Aires, right?
13 floors.
13 floors from the balcony. Now, so it falls 13 floors, and just before it hits the ground, Catchy the Poodle actually lands on top of 75-year-old Marta Espinita's head. Now, they both died instantly on impact. However, usually when a dog falls off of a balcony, it's going to make some noise. So, as it was falling, a crowd had gathered. And I mean, obviously, after the impact, the crowd was already there. And Edith Sola was just in shock by the sight. She was standing in the middle of the street, hands on her head. What? As a bus fucking hits her, killing her instantly on impact. Now, an unidentified man sitting, drinking coffee, saw all 3 of those deaths and had a fucking heart attack and died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
Holy
So,
shit.
Just a fucking Rube Goldberg machine of death.
Deaths.
And
That's amazing.
our fucking episode, man.
I cannot. I have
You
nothing
can't-
to add.
You can't tie it up any better, you know?
I can't. This is too good.
Oh, goodness. Well, do you have the patrons?
Oh, fuck, do I?
I don't know. I'll burn some time. So, we hopefully have some interesting approaches to episodes coming up this season. AJ and I have worked out a couple different ideas instead of just the old back and forth surprise episode on one another. So keep an eye out for those, and ideally we'll have some more two-parters.
And
if
some
you guys,
giveaways?
Yeah, and some giveaways that we're hoping to have coming up. Let us know what you guys are looking for. I know that you guys don't reach out about a lot of stuff, but if you like two-parters and you're like, hey, we want those every fucking week, let us know. If you hate them, tell us.
Please.
If you want a 6-part series of something that goes over the course of the season, or it's back to back to back to back, tell us. Like, we're here for you guys, and we want to make great content that you guys enjoy.
Yeah.
So,
I got them. I pulled it up.
Pull it out, man. Whip it out.
Thank you, guys. These are the patrons: Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Lindo, D's Nuts, NSA Isn't Real, Nordic Thunder, Toddle Waddle. Change the name again. You're throwing me for a loop. Dark
Keeping you on
Runner,
your toes.
Haley, and Casey McFacey. Thank you guys so much. You're keeping the lights on. We got some new equipment coming up. We'll talk about it probably next episode.
Yes.
And yeah, we've got a lot of new shit.
And a very, very. Oh wow.
That was a
Jesus.
weird noise.
A huge shout out and a big thank you to Thomas. I sure I thanked you a ton through Twitter. He made he's done a lot for us, to be quite honest with everyone.
Straight up.
Huge shout out to you, man. We cannot thank you enough. Yeah, I mean, we're fucking going places, and we're excited to take the rest of you along with us. So find us on Twitter and Instagram at PointsOPressure. Season 5 is a fucking go. It's started. Get ready for the next year of madness, and we'll catch you fuckers next Monday.
Oh no, I deleted it all.